Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Ba'asham Yahweh Shai. Ba'asham Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the elders and bishops, the elders in Connecticut, the brothers in the Four Winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yehawada with the lesson. And this is Reuters. World news. World news. World news. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? And this is the greatest news. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said to teach the good news, right? The gospel, which is good news. And this is good news to you Israelites, because what? This is the end, the beginning of the end of Esau's Edom kingdom right here. You know, for these other nations to speak against Israel, that hasn't happened, right? But the Lord is making their making them to be exposed, man. He's exposing them, right? So it says, South Africa files genocide case, right, against Israel at World Court, right? This is December 29th, 2023 at 4:47 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's updated. Was it 36 minutes ago? This is today. So this thing just happened. It's very fresh off the press, right? Right. And this is that thing with the unicorn, or the internet, right? You don't have to really wait for news. You know what I mean? This is fresh news 36 minutes ago. All right? Knowledge shall increase. So we're seeing the Bible unfold right before our eyes, man. Right? Yeah, it says, oh, yeah, right here. It says, a flame falls over Gaza, aimed the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine. Islamic group Hamas, as seen from the southern Israel on December 29th, 2023. Right? So this them shooting a missile into Gaza happened today, and so South Africa was like, hey, look, hey, enough is enough, right? So it says Amsterdam / Cape Town, December 29th. Reuters says South Africa asked the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, on Friday, which is today, for an urgent order declaring that Israel was in breach of its obligations under the 1948 Geneva Convention, right? And this is one of the things that they came up with, because why? Because they were the one who's trying to get into that land, and they use the so-called this agreement, right? Because they were basically doing genocide on the Palestinians back then, right? So they had to sign this back in 1948, which is the same time that these guys got into that land, basically, when they got that so-called Balfour Declaration, right? You know, that as if somebody can declarate you to be in that land, you know. But and it says yeah, the Geneva Convention, Geneva going into what genocide, which is going into gene the GNE is like gene, dealing with someone's their you know their nationality, their gene, you know, who they are, what makes them a certain particular people, right? Gene, and then old side goes into being cycle. They're just going, you know, they're being psychopathic about how they're just trying to. It's basically it's ethnic cleansing, right? Right. Look that word up, ethnic cleansing, and that's ultimately what they plan to do to you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Because guess what? Prophecy is going out, right? And it's crackdown against the Palestinian group Hamas in Gaza, right? Yeah, it says the ICJ, sometimes known as the World Court, is the United Nations venue for resolving disputes between states. Israel's foreign minister said in a reaction that the suit was baseless. Like, so he said, hey, look, they don't have no valid, right? You're just murdering and shooting these people, killing little babies and children, and then you're not giving them water because you could control it. As if that's not heinous, but you're supposed to be God's people, where God is long suffering and merciful. Even when the Lord destroyed a nation or sent Israel to kill a lot of, the Lord was still always merciful, where He left some people alive. You know what I mean? Right? He always set it up to where the people could be uh, tributaries and certain things, and still live a decent life, right? The earth was the earth was happy under King David and under Solomon, right? You know, it wasn't just until Solomon went off, but he went off in his old age. So all the time of David, which was like 40 years, and then Solomon was another 40 years, right? So that short period of time of 80 years is better than all your thousands and thousands of years ruling, and you still haven't got it right, right? Yeah, so it says South Africa's feeling alleged Israel was violating its obligation under the treaty drafted in the wake of the what Holocaust, right? Because when it fit them, it was for their benefit. It was like, oh yeah, this is what we can do. So now we can point the finger at people. And so anytime you mention anything about them, they go, oh, but the Holocaust, the Holocaust, right? They're so-called their go-to to so you can't say anything about them, right? Which was made, which makes it a crime to attempt to destroy a people in whole or in part. And that's absolutely what's going on over there, right? Which we're not on anyone's side, but evil is evil. We're not on the Palestinian side. We're not on the Israelite. We're on the Israel side, Not they ain't the Israelites. We ain't on the Palestinian side. We're not on so-called the Israeli side, right? The Jewish, or the no, basically Amalek. We're not on his side. You know, we're on the side of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but right is right and wrong is wrong, right? And when you're creating things and you're saying that there's more people in a place that got destroyed and that didn't actually happen, and then you use it as an iron shield, see, now the whole thing is, everything is going to start collapsing on you, right? The Bible is coming into fruition, right? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 44. Ooh. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swallowing of Jordan, the swelling of Jordan, Slakia, unto the habitations of the strong, right? Going into your that World War III, into, you know, to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of Jehoshaphat, the valley of the mountain of troops, right? Right, the valley of judgment, right, where the Lord's gonna meet all the nations and he's gonna gather them, because that's what's happening right now. The Lord's gathering them there, right? But I will make them suddenly run away from her, right? Because who is a choice man, right? Because people are going to start distancing themselves, and that's already happening now. Because you would have never seen someone file a lawsuit against Israel, especially for war crimes, right? Because you can't say anything against them, right? You say anything, you're anti-Semite. Oh, you spoke against the Holocaust. Well, you should never say nothing, right? But see, now we're getting to where people are going to start distancing themselves from them, right? Because your skirt is getting pulled back, man. Right? We're gonna see the nasty, the filthiness of Israel and America. That's what's being shown. That's why they're gonna run from her, right? Run from Israel. They're gonna run from America, who is a choice man that I may appoint over her. For who is like me? Because the Lord's gonna send forth His Son for judgment. He should judge the quick and the dead, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which his real name is Yahweh Shai. The Lord is going to send his only begotten Son, right, to judge the world. And who will appoint me the time, right? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me, right? Because who can really stand before the Lord and not be destroyed? Only Yahweh Shai. But the Lord is setting up Yahweh Shai to judge the world, man. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Babylon, right, which is America, and his purposes that he purposed against the land of the Chaldeans, right, going into the witchcraft, Hollywood, you know, the media, the things that they do, the drugs, the sex, all these different things that they bewitched you, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians to love the dunghills, man. You started loving the dunghills, man. Right? Surely the least of the flock, right, which that's Israel, the Amalekites, right, shall draw them out, right, and the Israel is the least of the flock, and that's what's happening right now. They're becoming the least of the heathens, man. They becoming small amongst the heathens, right? Because South Africa is those are all heathens. Those are not Israelites. But now you're gonna start seeing people stand up. See, South Africa could say that. Why? Because they're backed up under the BRICS. They're backed up by Russia. So now someone can say something. Now you can't just go into South Africa and start a war without causing a bigger conflict, because then it's gonna invoke Russia, Iran, China, because they're all connected now, right? So you can't just go in there with your economic hitman and try to destroy their economy or kill their president like you did to the president in Haiti, right? Because he didn't want to take the yob, right? He didn't want to take the jump shot. He didn't want to give it to his people. So you went in and had people go in there and kill him, right? You ain't gonna be able to do that now. Now they're backed up by great military men, right? So that's why it says you're the Amalek, right? The you-ish, the small hats are the least of the flocks. Shall draw them out, right? Dealing with Babylon the Great, which is America, the daughter of Babylon, right? Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them, right? So Israel's going to be destroyed. America's going to be destroyed, right? At the noise of the taking of Babylon, which is America, the earth is moved, right? Hey, when those missiles hit, man, the whole earth, the Lord said it shall move to and fro like a drunkard, man. The earth was going to move when this happened, man. And the cry is heard among the nations, man. Everybody's going to know that America is done for. This power structure, this Edomite power structure is done for. And the beginning of this is showing you how they're the least of the heathen, because here it is, another heathen nation is speaking against them and fouling amongst the world court, that they're in violation of a thing that they created for themselves, right? The kettle calling the coffee black, right? Because they set it up for themselves. Oh wait, they were trying to kill a whole people. They were trying to kill us Jewish people, and they've always used that. But then now the shoes on the other foot, now they have the power, and they say they're not going to stop. They're going to wipe them out. They're going to do whatever till they get what they want. And if anybody think that something else is going to, not a who say, you must be out of your mind, basically. You must not be dealing with reality. That's what he said. You're not dealing with reality if you think they're not going to continue until they get what they want, right? So it's making them what? Yeah, so this says Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh, power, concerning Edom, right? Esau, Edom, and the Lord's talking about all you Edomites, not just talking about Amalek, even though that's the core thing, because it said that that Amalek is the first amongst the heathen, right? Dealing with, they have that power structure, but that soon that power structure is gonna be gone, or that reverence that people had for them is gonna be gone, and it's starting to go away. So it says concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. See, this is among the heathens, right? And the ambassadors are what here we're what do they call us? Well, we're ambassadors of Hamashiach, right? And right, so we're sent around the world, right, on the highways and the byways, amongst all these heathens, right? Arise ye and let us go up against her. So we're saying, hey, it's the time that all you nations are going to have to come against Babylon the Great. You're going to have to go against Amalek, right? Matter of fact, yeah, so this is Numbers chapter 24, verse 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up a parable, right? You know what I'm saying? This is a saying, right? A parable. And said Amalek was first amongst the nations. See, because really at this point they're ruling, because when you deal with the international bankers, the world bankers, right? They've always had this power over all the nations because the way they were able to control the money, the world banks. But see, now that the BRICS have been created, and now they have a financial backing that they never had, a military backing that South Africa has never had before. Now they could just come out and say something. Hey, look, under their own Geneva Convention, when it was good for them, they said, hey, Hitler was trying to wipe us out. They were trying to wipe us out at a whole, or even partly. That's not fair, right? They even made the so-called basketball players, because of Kyrie Irving, they made these basketball players go to a museum for the Holocaust. So boo-hoo, poor them, while they're just bombarding these people who do not have the same capable military might as them, right? Hamas got a few rockets here and there, but they don't have the military might you have. But they're willing to say, hey, you know what? We're gonna fight back anyway, right? Which is good for them, because guess what? They should fight back, right? You got to fight back for what you believe in. When he's saying you're right, when he's saying you're wrong, but people are gonna fight back for what they believe in, regardless of the situation, right? But it's also gonna be good for us, because it's gonna bring in that World War III, right? So you're the top international bankers. You control Hollywood, right? The entertainment business. Kanye was about to be the first black major billionaire in a very long time, but you were able to just not accept his money into your Chase banks and all this other stuff, which proved that you guys have this power. But everybody's looking at Kanye as if he's crazy. But you know what? To survive some of these type of things, you would have to be a little bit, insane, because this thing, it's deeper than you think, and it's very spiritual too. See, because they were controlling all these things. They're first amongst the nations, but his latter end, right? And this is where we're at. We're coming to that latter end part. Shall be that he perish for what? Forever. Forever, right? Hey, what did the Apostle Tahar said about goddamn Nate? You know what I'm saying? The IUIC talking about one day they're gonna creep back up and then take back over again. Well, the Lord said they're gonna perish forever. So when in perishing forever, you're gonna somehow tiptoe up and then and take back over, right? Especially when we're gonna have spiritual power, right? It's insane. Yeah, so I'm gonna come back to Obadiah, chapter 1. We're gonna do verse 2. And behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I have made thee small, right? See, the Lord's making them, because at one point they're first. They have the international banking system. They're running Hollywood. They're running the music industry, and not just here. They're doing that around the world. They control who becomes president or prime minister all over the world. But now it's coming to a day that's not so. The BRICS created, so now they have super strength behind them. When you got a military like China just alone is a hellified military that it's one to be reckoned with, right? You don't really want to get down with that. But then you throw Russia in there, I mean, forget about it, right? So now South Korea, hey, they could speak with swag now. They could speak, you know what I'm saying? Even though dude's trying to say it's what do you say? It's groundless or pointless or it has no base. It's baseless. Yeah, that's what he said. Baseless, right? So for behold, feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I have made thee small amongst the heathen, thus are greatly despised. See, now they're being greatly despised, man. So this is a beautiful beginning to their end, right? Yeah, so this is Jeremiah 49:13. For I have sworn by myself, Salakia, saith Yahweh, right? Which technically that's what the Lord's saying. He swore by his name. And then he put the word of the Most High, he put the word of God above his own name. So these are things, this word right here we're reading, the Lord has to perform it because he put this word above his own name. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick because he swore by himself. Yeah, so this is Psalms 138. I'm going to go verse 1. A psalm of David, right? Which is our king, man. Which is going to return to be our king, man. Right? Right? Yahushai, King David, the 144,000, the other, men that the Lord's going to put in government positions and leadership positions and things like that. The women, the children, man, hey, the Lord's going to make it, it's going to be in order, man. It's going to be harmonious in righteousness, man. Because why? We're going to say what? I will praise thee with my whole heart, right? Your mind, your body, your soul. But starting with your mind, your lob, your mind is the best place. That's where all the battles come in your mind, right? Before the gods will I sing praise unto thee, right? And who's the one who think he's a god right now? That's Esau. So when we're on the highways and the byways, the Lord said that he will make a dinner table before the presence of our enemies, which he is, man. We're feasting and eating before the presence of our enemies, and our enemies are so-called gods, right? They control whether a lot of people live and die, right? They're over there controlling the water over there in Gaza. They control the fluctuation of the market as far as gas and this and that. They told these devils for 2024 that they can go ahead and make a couple of cuts or rate cuts, to try to cut into the inflation, right? That permission came from them. They're ruling the world. They're the gods on a small level. That's why we're putting it to them, man. And that's why they're getting angry now. They're being mentioned small amongst the heathen, man. Right? Greatly despised amongst them, right? And I will sing praise unto thee. See, every day we're doing these digital epistles, or we're on the highways and the byways. It's to the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai. And I will worship towards thy holy temple. So we face the east, give all praises and all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham, Rakak Wadash. Hey, man, and that's just invoking the spirit of Yahweh Ba'asham Shai to be present, man. Right? You go into your lesson, you're doing your thing, and it's invoking, and it's bringing this devil down, man. Why? Because the Lord said what? And praise thy name for thy loving kindness, right? Towards who? The Israelites, especially towards the elect, right? Because without the elect, all of Israel cannot be saved. So the Lord is especially attentive to the elect, right? love and kindness, and for thy truth, right? Hey, this is what we're reading, man. We're reading the Lord's truth, man. For thus has magnified thy word. See, is he not making them small amongst the heathen that the South African can say, hey, you're committing genocide, right? Yeah. Magnify thy word above, but thus has magnified thy word, right? This is the point where I was getting to. So let me slow it down a little bit. For thus hast magnified thy word, which is the Bible, the scriptures, the law, statutes, commandments, which the Lord can't do away with, right? The Lord said the word of the Lord goes out of his mouth and will not come back void. In order for him to take back the law, statutes, commandments, he would have to make it void, which he said it cannot come back void, and then it makes him a liar. So the word of the Lord goes out and cannot come back void. He can't. And it's just insane that you could think that anyone can say that. You know what I mean? And then they'll sit there and literally read the script. Well, brother, sister, whatever you so-called believer you say you are, right? Does it not say the word of the Lord goes out and will not come back void? So how can the laws be done away with? See? But this is the Lord, thy truth, man. Thy truth. For thus has magnified thy word above thy name. So this is most important. The Lord has to perform this, man. Why? Because he put the word above his own name. Yeah, so this is the Bible speaking, man. The Lord putting the word above his own name, right? It says Biden says Netanyahu must change. Israel's losing global support. See, they're becoming small amongst the heathen. They're being greatly despised. They're losing that global support, right? And this was earlier this month. So same month, within the same month, he's saying this. 2 weeks or whatever, however it is, later, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, whatever. But it's within the same month. This was December 12th. And this was December 27th or 29th or whatever it is today. What is today? Because I think I've seen it. 29th, right? Here it is, December 29th. And yeah, we're seeing this manifest, man. And the Lord is speeding up the time, man. Right? Right. Look at this right here. It says Israel security can rest on the United States. See, Babylon the Great, or the daughter of Babylon, which is gonna be, be led out by the least of the flock into the battle. But right now, it has more than the United States. It has Europe, the European Union, and it has Europe. It has most of the world, right? So most of the world is backing up Israel, but they're starting to lose support by indiscriminate bombing that takes place, Biden said, right? So it says Israel's retaliation against Hamas attack has killed 18,000 Gazan officials say, and wounded 50,000 people, creating a humanitarian crisis. See, they're losing support, man. Now the world is starting to despise them. They're saying, hey, look, let's file the Geneva Convention on them. They're violating the very thing that they use to cover themselves up, right? To so-called protect themselves from Hitler, right? When Hitler himself was a so-called Jew, right? Yeah, so back to Jeremiah 49, 13, right? Basically saying the Lord swore by himself, right? He put the word, his own word above his own name. So for I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, that Basra, right, which is the chief port city in Israel to this very day, right, shall become a desolation. So the Lord's going to destroy Israel. He's going to destroy the Amalek, right? Going to destroy that place. A reproach, a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof. See, it's not just going to be Basra. All the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from Yahweh and an ambassador, right, going right back into it. Same thing that was in Obadiah, right? Which lets you know that the Lord only has to say a thing one time. But if he says it twice, you know he means business. And if he said it 3 times, which he's basically have, you say over and over again, you know what I mean? Different prophets, different time periods, which these prophets that wrote this couldn't have possibly lived during the same time period. They lived thousands of years and hundreds of years from each other, right? But somehow it's all coinciding with, see, this is the word of God. It's the living word, truly. I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, an ambassador is sent unto the heathens, right? To all these nations, right? To gather them to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, to the valley of Jehoshaphat, or what they call Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, saying, gather ye together and come against her, right? Against Israel and against America, and rise up to the battle, right? To World War III. For lo, which means to look, I will make thee small amongst the heathen. See? All over again. It's showing you, making them small amongst the heathen. Right? Even Biden's telling you, look, hey, look, homeboy, it ain't a good look. We have all these world so-called militaries and everything so-called behind, but you're losing support throughout the world. Right? You're losing support. Greatly, I will make thee small amongst the heathen and greatly despised amongst men. That's what's happening to Israel. Right? Thy terribleness have deceived thee. See, and that's what Netanyahu was saying. If you think that we're gonna stop this, you're what he's basically saying you're delusional. That's what he said. If you think we're gonna stop this, you're delusional. We're gonna do what we need to do until it's done. No one's gonna stop us, no matter what you say. No matter how much you say it's a humanitarian crisis, no matter how much you say that it's war crimes, and you're filing a thing, they even had their lawyer go over there and say, "Hey, this is baseless." You mean you killed 18,000? And that was just from that time period. You killed 18,000 people, wounded 50,000 other ones. But it's baseless, right? But hey, and that's just what they're reporting in the papers, you know. Who knows what it really is, right? Thy terribleness have deceived thee, right? And that's you know, the the so-called power structure, that iron dome that they have, it deceives them, man. The pride of thy heart, right? Their mind, right? Which is lob, your mind, oh thus that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks, right? Because they come from Mount Seir, technically, right? But then they dwelt over there in the Caucasus Mountains, where you get the word Caucasian from, which that's them, man, cave dwellers, right? The cliffs of the rocks that hold it, the height of the hills, right? Their mind is always lofty, always high-minded. They're better than everybody else. We don't care what you have to say. You know what I mean? It's our way. If we gotta kill people and we gotta commit genocide, that's okay if we do it. But if you do it against us, that's a crime. Now that's a crime against humanity. Only way it's a crime against humanity if it's only against them. If you get to saying anti-Semitism things, now you're a criminal. But you bomb Hamas, kill the children in Africa, cut off their hands because they're not getting you enough freaking diamonds or stuff out of the caves and stuff. I mean, even people made movies and things, and you would think it would have more of an outcry. You know, the movie Blood Diamond, showing you where your diamonds come. Blood is spilled. Little children's blood, innocent children's blood is spilled so you can wear diamonds on your neck, man. It's insane, but it's okay. You know, the judgment is coming to those that dwell on the cliffs of the rock, that hold its thy height as the hills. Though thus shouldst make, though shouldst thy make thy nest as high as the eagle, I will bring thee down from thence, right? They got this high and lofty mind. They're the first of the nations. It just said it. We read it how they're the top nation. So if you're the top nation, I mean, you got all this stuff. Hey, your mind is high, man. You're not thinking no one can bring you down, right? Right? But the Most High saying He can bring you down. It says, I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh, right? And like I said, the word of the Lord goes out and will never come back void, right? It says also Edom shall be a desolation. So all the Edom, not just the Amalek, everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. Right? As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah. And what did the Lord do with Sodom and Gomorrah, man? He shot that concentrated fire from the chariot that burns hotter than the sun. Which that's what's going to happen with the ICBM missiles. It's going to burn hotter than the core of the sun, and not to mention the Lord's going to shoot missiles from laser beams from the chariots also. Right? To make sure it's burnt, it gets the right the right amount of heat, the right amount of heat to cook. You know what I mean? Right? To get the job done the right way. So it says, as the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities. See, and it just said that right up here. Where was that? Oh, right here. It's in all this. It says, and I will, as I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, Basra, which is a city, a chief city, right off the port city, right off where you can go and sell in a boat right there and dock off and make money and all that other stuff. Is a port city. But you know, a lot of people like to live by those port cities. They can see the ocean, the way the sun sets and the sun rises around there. It's very beautiful because you can see the ocean and the water, and you know what I mean, it's good for you. You know, if you're a fisherman, you can make your money right off that port city, right? Shall become a desolation and a reproach, a waste and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be perpetual waste, right? And the cities. So then the Lord's mentioning the exact same thing right here, right? And the cities thereof. So it says in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, right? Saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall the Son of Man dwell in it, right? So it's going to be a time period that there ain't going to be anyone dwelling in the land of Israel for some time. But then, of course, we got to build up Israel. But there's no one ever going to dwell in the land of Babylon the Great ever again. Never again. Right? 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 So it says Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. See, saying the same thing. Thus that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, right, in your mind, your mind, who shall bring me down to the ground, right? That's the Israelis' mind state, right? Which is Amalek, and it's also the so-called Americans, which is Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. That's their mindset, that no one's gonna ever bring them down, right? But the Lord said, "I will bring thee down," saith Yahweh, man. Yeah, might as well. And thus has exalted thyself as the eagle, though thus has set thy nest amongst the stars, right? They got their international space stations. They got, they got a space force. They have, they got their satellites. They got all sorts of things, So this is the things that, that makes them proud, man, right? They got their military. They got their what they call it, star weapons, star guns, laser guns, right? They're proud, it's amongst the stars, right? And then the real stars are us. They got us down in the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations. So they're proud. They got us down at the bottom, right? Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. Yeah, so this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12. How are thus fallen from heaven? See, the Lord said he's going to bring you down. Because you keep talking all this pride like you're never going to fall. But the Lord going to say, hey, man. And the Lord being facetious, right? Right? How are thus fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, going into what? The Illuminati. That secret government, right? Right? Because it means light bearer. Light bearer means what? You're illuminated. You have a certain amount of light. You know what's going on, right? Right. That's why they have the owl of Molech, right? Because the owl can see at night, while the rest of you people are in gross darkness. Them being Lucifer, they have the light. They know what's going on. They're gonna bring in the MOTB, trying to avoid prophecy, right? But they can't. The Lord put the word above his own name. It says, son of the morning, right? How are thus cut down, right? Hey, you're going to get cut down, right? You're trying to make rate cuts for inflation, but you're the one that's going to get cut. How are thus cut down to the ground? Because you said, who's going to bring me down to the ground? Hey, but somehow you're going to get cut down and you're going to be brought to the ground. How are thus cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nation. So you went around the world battling, fighting, weakening the nations. If you didn't fight, you'll cause what I call a coup, right? Amongst the people, sending your own economic hitman or your own prime minister or president, a puppet person, and play puppet master and allow things to be a certain way. And then you say, I care not who make the rules or the laws, if I have power over their finances, hey, you make the rules because you control the banks, the international banks, the movement of everything, right? So for thus has said in thy heart, right? Lob your mind. See, it's a continuous thing, man. It's a you know what I'm saying? This is how you know the Lord is very serious about this. He's saying the same thing. Oh, he's saying it, and he don't have to say it twice, but he does it because he wants you to know that he's gonna mean business, man. Right? One is not a man that can lie, nor the son of man that he should repent, and he put the word above his own name. Cut that out. Like you're in trouble, man. And will say this your mind. It's in your mind. Thus has said in thy mind or your heart, I will ascend into heaven, right? Your international space stations, all these different things, like I was saying, right? Saying you made it to the moon, but you didn't make it to the moon. But you orbited and you got your satellites out there, right? I will exalt my throne above the stars, right? And that, like I said, that's you do have your international space stations, but the stars are actually the Israelites, right? So you're dwelling amongst us, but you got us in a low condition, the ghettos, the vadios, the reservations, right? And then we're gonna prove it. It says, I will set also upon the mount of the congregation. See, that mount, that congregation. Who's the congregation? The congregation of the Lord, which are you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians who need to repent because America and Israel are going to be destroyed, man. The least of the flock shall draw them out, man. This place is finished. They're losing support all around the world, right? The mount of the congregation, and in the sides of the north, which is in North America, right? It's where we're at. The bulk of Israel is in America, right? Or the bulk of the bulk of the salvation, should I say the bulk of the salvation has to come from out of America, because what the ICBM missiles that's gonna melt this place till it's a desert, right? We have to be saved. Should I say the bulk of the salvation must come from Babylon the Great, which is America. So this is Isaiah chapter 47 verse 5. Sit thus silent. So, hey, when you get sit in the ground, you're gonna be on the ground. When you get sit in the ground, you're gonna be put in silence, man. You're never gonna be again. The Lord already said it, going all the way back to Numbers, which that's a future prophecy which haven't happened. So you should be removed forever. There's going to be no more Amalek forever, which also is going into Esau. There'll be no more Edomites, man, at all, forever. Sit the silent and get thee in the darkness, right? See, ain't going to be another Edomite, right? O daughter of the Chaldeans, right? Dealing with your witchcraft, praying to Satan, right? Praying to Satan over the food and the chickens and the things, and then sending it to the grocery stores in America. Well, really all around the world, but especially in America. You mean putting your scientific things to give cancer and all these different things into the food? That's witchcraft, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the Chaldeans was about, witchcraft, and that's what you're doing. All the drugs and sex trafficking, all these different things that you do, and it's always behind the scenes, the sleight of hand, right? You're gonna put R. Kelly in the forefront as if he's the worst guy ever, he's doing what you're supposed to do. Those young women were women at that. She was past the flower of her age, man. But see, ultimately the Lord is going to judge you, man. Right? Because you're the main one that's about that, man. You're about trying to push pedophilia. You want to be, what is it? Was it was it LGBTQP? You went put pedophilia in it, but then R. Kelly's the worst person in the world. See, it's crazy. But see, ultimate judgment is coming for you, right? For thus shall no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms, right? America ain't gonna be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Uh, 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 what's the name? Amalek. You ain't gonna be first of the nations anymore, right? I was I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hands, right? Because anytime anybody is around you, they're polluted. So for the Lord to allow us to go into your hands under Amalek, because who had most of the slave ships? Who paid for those slave ships? Most of those slave ships were paid by Amalek, the so-called Jewish. Most of those slave ships or the slave masters were Jewish, right? So you owned the slave ships and you were the slave masters, right? In most of those situations, right? So you polluted the Lord's heritage. But the Lord allowed you to do that. All for this purpose right here, to judge you. Right? I gave them into thy hand, thus did show them no mercy. See? And then you show no mercy. And then the Lord says in the scriptures, it says, he will show no mercy to him who have not shown mercy. So you didn't show mercy, so how can you expect to get mercy, man? Who thus did show no mercy upon the ancient, right, the older men, has thus very heavily laid thy yoke. So you did on old gray men who could barely move, which is the same thing you're doing over there in Gaza. Old men who could barely move, saying get the freak out of there because we're gonna bomb it. So you got people in wheelchairs and can barely move, and maybe a lot of them ain't got family members to help get them up out of there. So you just blowing that thing to smithereens, and this dude is unable to move, unable to get out of there. But you don't give a damn. You will show no mercy even on the ancient, even on older people who lived a fucking heinous lifestyle, who's old and deserve to have respect for being old and gray, where they got wisdom. We should be around all these older people from around and get the wisdom from these older people, man. Well, amount of wisdom that you could pull from them, right? Because of just because they're older. Like the scripture says that they're not always wise either, right? Because some of them are fools, but Salakia, because it gets to me, get me emotional. But let me finish this up, Salakia. It says thus has very heavily laid thy yoke, and thus said it's, I will be a lady forever, right? You're going to rule forever. America thought that. Israel's thinking that. So that thus did not lay these things to thy heart, right? You didn't put that into your mind that something that that you were going to be destroyed. Neither did it remember thy latter end, right? Which goes back to Numbers 24 and 20. Right? The Lord had already pronounced your latter end. Therefore, hear now this, thus that are given to pleasures, right? Because, the Illuminati, the elite, they're used to living this lavish lifestyle. When you got $75 trillion in the bank and you never have to worry about your bills or anything, you never have to worry about struggling or striving. What was it? What was that one was it Rothschild or no? He was a Rockefeller, I believe. He had 5 different heart surgeries. Do you know how long people have to be on a heart surgery list to get one heart surgery. You mean you had 5 before you died? Which proves that you're lofty, you're high. You have all these things. You have all this pleasures that dwelleth carelessly, and you dwell carelessly. That saith in thy heart, you lob your mind, I am and none else beside me. Like, man, nobody else matters. We'll bomb Gaza to all hell, and we don't give a damn. Nobody else matter but our agenda, right? Which makes sense because you're ruling right now, and you're gonna be the one who pushes the charagma. You're gonna cause the world to get the charagma. So why should you care? You know what I'm saying? It says, who says in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these 2 things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, right? And the Lord says that what? In 1 hour, America's going to be destroyed in 1 hour. So that one day, that 1 hour is coming to you. Loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, right? Because it tells you about how in your perfection you should be in straits, right? Just when you're about to eat, in your perfection, you're going to be destroyed. In their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, right? Witchcraft, all like I was saying, and for the great abundance of thy enchantments, right? Yeah, so this is Job chapter 20, verse 19. Because he hath oppressed and forsaken the poor, which the poor are really the Israelites. But there's there's poor people, like as far as financially around the world. But the poor is the Israelites, because we're supposed to be in that land. We're the ones who's supposed to be in control over the world and putting forth the law from that land. So, you know what I mean? He's in that land, but he's putting forth wickedness from that land, right? So it says, forsaking the poor, because he have violently taken away houses which he built not, right? And he did that to us first and foremost, always about the Israelites, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. But look what he's doing over there to Gaza. He's blowing them houses and to smithereens. Now, he didn't build them things. Those where those people have to live. But hey, forget if you need a place to live, right? It doesn't matter. It's all about his agenda. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desire. So he's openly trying to, he know that he got but a short time, so he's trying to find a way to curb the prophecy that Israel will rule. So he's trying to bring in the Karagma, the Karaks, the Engrapho, right, the mark of the East, in order to change the directions of prophecy, right, trying to fulfill his desire, right, so he could stay in rulership, so he can get the blessing, right, but he's trying to get the blessing carnally. There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods, right? In the fullness of his sufficiency, right? Because they're gonna take away. They say you should own nothing, have nothing. You should own nothing, and you should be satisfied. So, what good are you gonna? What goods are you gonna be looking for? They're talking about you gotta buy land and buy houses on a virtual reality thing, and that's the only way you can own something, right? So what reminded me of that, because it said in their perfection. So in the fullness of his sufficiency, which is basically perfection. Right when the charagma's pushed, and it looks like the whole world is under subjection, except for the elect. The elect ain't finna take that, right? But it's gonna look like it's in its perfection, right? The sufficiency, right? Everything is perfect, right where it needs to be at. Everybody's getting the charagma. People falling in line. The people who die, that they die. Who cares? Hey, everything's going the way that they hope for and imagine. But the Lord said there ain't gonna be quietness, man. Right? In his belly. In the fullness of his sufficiency shall be in straits. Hey, straits is what? A difficult time. So right when everything is perfected and it's right where it needs to be at, boom. Sudden calamity, man. Sudden thing is gonna even affect these elites. They're gonna be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come up upon him, right? And that wicked goes into workers or laborers, right? Because ultimately that's what that is. Man, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, you've been in the field so long working, being slaves. You don't know nothing else, right? So yeah, we got it right here. Job 20:22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come up upon him, right? So let's look up straits real quick.
Strong's H3334. Got sad. Strong's H3334. Got sad.
To bind, be in distress, right? See, he's gonna be in distress. Made narrow, caused distress, besieged, right? Let's see what wicked is. See? Laborers, sufferers. See? That's what you've been doing. You so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian been suffering. But, hey, the whole thing with that is a lot of the world been suffering. But the main thing is the Lord is worried about his people. Right? Laborers, workmen, sufferers. Wretched one. Hey, see? That's crazy. Right? Toiling. Right? That's what you've been doing. You've been working, toiling. Let me chase this American dream, and then you're gonna find out it was all worthless, man. It was never meant for you to have it like that. We came to America for a punishment, and we came here to awake out of sleep. So call Loyum Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakal Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. To the elder bishops, the elders in Connecticut, the brothers in the four winds, preaching the truth with sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through their father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence, and a Bible ball.